This is Pete Moore on Halo Talks NYC. I have the pleasure of somebody I follow and stalk on LinkedIn. Cale Owen, good to see you coming in from Gym Launch. He's got several businesses. He is one of the focal points when it comes to getting people to actually execute, get on the field, and play your best game. So I'm excited that he's on the show, and I'm excited to hear some words of wisdom. So, Cale, great to see you in person.
Pete, it's a pleasure, man. It's an honor to be on here.
Thanks, bud. So, for the people that don't know about Gym Launch, you want to start with that story and kind of how you got to the point where you are today and where you really saw opportunity, where a lot of people in this industry kind of just say, hey, my attrition is what it is. My sales are what they are. And I feel like you've kind of changed the narrative that, hey, let me wake you up to what's real. So far away.
Yeah, without a doubt. So Gym Launch was started and founded by Alex and Layla Hormozi. If you're unfamiliar with them, go on to Twitter, any social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, you'll see their face. You'll see them. Just search Alex and Layla Hormozi or acquisition.com. They founded it back in 2016. And the way that they founded it was very different than how we do it today. But basically what they did is they flew into gyms and they did essentially gym makeovers where they would go in and they would fill gyms, add 100, 150, 200 new members paying high ticket prices within 30 days. And then they would jet out and drop into another one. So they would parachute in, save a gym, dip out, go to the next one. Not a really sustainable model. So what they switched to in 2017 was a licensing model where they built out information courses plus coaching. And they built this out where it was very much a do-it-yourself style program where you hop in, you learn how to do exactly what they did. And they sold that licensing to a bunch of gym owners. And that's how we started scaling. So Alex and Layla started that. They've since come on to be, just incredible entrepreneurs. They're building their own next company, acquisition.com, and absolutely crushing it. But Gym Launch here, what we're doing now, and I was actually a client first back in 2017. I think it was like the 13th or 14th client in 2017 to sign up with the new licensing model. And I've been there for obviously since then. And what we're doing now today is very similar, yet we've added a lot more done for you systems. So in a world where the consumer is wanting more and more things done for them, we've started adding much more onto that. So like we run gyms ads. We're releasing an appointment setting service for them. We help them with all their sales training. We do daily sales training. We give them the scripts. We give them exactly what to say. We give them all the fulfillment best practices. We even give the messages to their clients on what they need to be sending their clients to check in with them to make sure their clients are happy, to retain them, all these things. But in a nutshell, what we do is we help gym owners reach more people, change more lives, and build wildly profitable businesses. And this goes for clubs. This goes primarily, we've started primarily in the micro gym space. And then we have since in 2021, we started going more into the health club space because we saw a massive opportunity, really a massive hole in the health club space where a lot of health clubs really aren't capitalizing on doing more high ticket things because they're losing a lot of money to micro gyms, in our opinion.
So let me ask you a question, because this is the conversation I have with software entrepreneurs and agencies. And for the audience background, I can provide you a software and you can use it yourself and hope good luck, or I could actually manage it for you, and you're basically a client, and I'm almost like your marketing agency, or I'm your operational force. So when you look at this, there are a number of entrepreneurs that say, look, I do the software, that's all I do, I'm a tech guy. Okay, like do your own thing. Like I'm stepping back from here, good luck, pay me my licensing fee, and it's on you, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you look at that? What would be your response if I said that's where your business should be? And how deep are you like with actually doing the operational day-to-day with these clubs and gyms?
Yeah, the operational day-to-day is a little bit difficult for us because if we could, we would do as much as we possibly could for them. We try to do as much as we possibly can up until the point of sale. And We're actually focusing on trying to do sales for gyms as well. We're trying to figure out ways to do that. But we'll crack that in the next 6 months to 8 months. But everything what we've noticed in the gym space is gym owners are very good in the gym. They're really good at understanding the operations of their gym, and they would prefer to stay there. Where the problem lies and where a lot of gym owners really just struggle and where a lot of gyms go to die is on the marketing, advertising, and sales side, the acquisition side of things. And what we found is that over time, there's a broken model out there with businesses where they really either rely on word of mouth, SEO, terrible offers on social media. And they think that if I just build something and I put some word out and maybe I throw some SEO up, maybe I get a decent website and maybe I have a brand and I try to build something that I'll keep growing. When in reality, we all know that that's not what happens. We have to pay to play and there has to be advertising in there. The question then becomes is what is the offer and are we able to monetize on that offer enough to where that new client that I just signed up from this ad that I posted pays not only for themselves, the cost to acquire themselves, but also pays for the next person plus profit in the first 30 days. That's the equation we look for, is can we make a profit and pay for 2 new customers right at sign up? And so that's the game that we play. And so we teach gym owners and we teach club owners how to be able to do that.
So, we go through all the franchise disclosure documents and try and get the P&Ls of as many clubs and studios that we can on their item 19. One of the things, this number might be moving around a bit, but the average Planet Fitness spends $12,678 a month on advertising. And then, I go to a Gold's Gym conference or go to an independent brand, conference with health clubs. Like, how many people spend that? Obviously nobody raises their hand. They're more like 2,500 to maybe 4,000 a month per club. And then they say, aha, now I understand how the Planet Fitness model works, because they are constantly adding rocket fuel to that sales engine. Regardless, we'll talk about the fact that a lot of it comes out the back. But the point is, when you look at a micro gym or you look at a health club, what do you tell them you have to spend? And how do you tell them that it's an investment and stop thinking about it as an expense?
Yeah, it comes down to data, right? It comes down to the math of it. So we teach a lot of our clients that they can sell a $599 product day one, full cash, paid in full for a 6-week program, or even a 4-week or an 8-week program to start. And this goes for clubs as well. Like we are doing this with health clubs, and health clubs are crushing this, where they're collecting $400, $500, $800 down with new clients coming in, and they only spent $100 to acquire that person. And so here's where it becomes, and this is the analogy that I use is, okay, Pete, if you're sitting there in your office right now and there's a slot machine over in the corner of your office, and I put $1 into that slot machine and that slot machine gives you $2 back, what's your marketing budget? What's your slot machine budget?
As much as you want, as you can afford to put to work for me.
Correct. I'm going to take that $2 that I gave back and I'm going to put those back in, and I'm going to keep getting money back out. And so essentially I don't have to pay. I don't need a marketing budget at that point. Like Planet Fitness is a perfect example. Their churn, we could talk about their churn and how it seeps out the back on that side. But when you look at it, they know their numbers enough to know that the LTV of their client, they can spend up to a certain amount and they're going to be able to be profitable. And the problem is, I think most health club owners and most gym owners actually don't know their numbers. And then they're not able to play the right game. They're not able to play a profitable game because they just see money going out the door. And while they may not be collecting cash up front, their cash flow struggles. What they need to be thinking about is, cool, what is the LTV of my clients, and am I able to stay cash flow positive month after month? And if you have the right offer, the right price point, and then the right fulfillment, you can do this and just continue to scale and scale and scale. And then you don't have to be sitting there being like, oh, I'm scared to spend $4,000. I mean, we had micro gyms spending $20,000 a month on advertising. And they were still minimum 2 to 1 day one on their advertising. And so like, when you think of it that way, it's like, I can just keep spending. Like, why not?
It's almost like you just need a little bit of money to kind of start the wheel, and then the wheel keeps going. People are like, oh, I can't afford 150,000. Actually, you only need 10, right? Just put the 10 to the hamster wheel. Like, let's get roll.
Yeah. Like, perfect example, going back to answer your question, we actually start with gyms. We tell them our suggested rate is $100 per day. So let's just say you spend $100 per day, day one. You get 10 leads. Let's say 3 people show up. Let's say you're not great at sales and you only close 2 of them, right? Or 4 people show up, you only close 50%. You close 2 of them, but you close those 2 people at, let's say, $599, so $600 a piece. That means that's $1,200 that you just made. But here's the kicker, right, Pete? We both know that money's not going to hit your bank account for a second, because you got payment processing, it's got to roll in, and they're going to hold it for a second. Day 2, you do the same thing, right? So now you're $200 out, but you've still signed up 4 people. Day 3, you do the same thing. Okay. By then, maybe the money's hit your account, but by day 4, the money's hit your account. And so you're already ROI positive, and you can just keep spending and spending and spending and spending. That's what we call client finance acquisition. And that is the system that really has helped not only our company scale, but also gym scale.
Right. And from a standpoint, because this is where I see kind of the rubber sometimes doesn't hit the road. It's like, okay, we're going to keep running this. Who on your side is actually like monitoring that? And is there anything that the club owner needs to do except like just check and say like, all right, here's how I did. And, negative off, because I feel like sometimes the club owners, like, they're the obstacle in the win.
Yeah, that's an exceptional question. So we have a full team that we've built around our best practices, and we monitor, optimize, and adjust ads on a either daily or every other day basis. So we're still checking them every single day. If they don't need to be optimized, we're not going to touch them. We're just going to let them keep going, but we're checking them to make sure that they're in our KPIs that we need. in order for our clients to be the most successful. And then we will change the creative. We do all the creative. We do everything that's needed. We set up any of the copy, the creative. If there is a lander, even though landers don't really work that well today on B2C traffic anyway. But if they are, we set all those up. We create all the connections. We create all the systems to alerts for your sales team to know when a lead comes in, all their contact information, if they schedule an appointment, if they didn't, then like when we roll out our done for you appointment setting service, they won't even have to touch it. It'll just literally be, you don't have to touch anything. And then they show up and you sell
Got it.
them. Right.
And when you use
So,
this $5.99, are you specifying like a different type of membership, or like a different, like, hey, you're gonna get a 6 week, not boot camp or whatever you want to call it.
yeah,
But are you selling something different than what they might be doing on their own?
we try to make sure that we adjust what they're doing. Micro gyms are really easy, but in health clubs, we adjust the offer and the pricing based on what they're already currently doing, because we don't want to have them have to recreate everything, because we understand how complex it is inside a club with so many people. So our goal is to figure out, okay, what are you currently doing that we could bolt this service onto, add a couple things to make it very, very valuable. So there's value perceived in the marketplace that people are going to raise their hand and say, yes, I want to buy that. And then the cool part, and this is what I tell club owners all the time. Like I spoke at URSA last year, and I just went through this, and it really comes down to the fact that health club owners are in a position where they should win all the time. They should crush micro gyms because they have everything they need to win. The problem comes down to the value perceived in the marketplace, and they are perceived as a commodity most of the time, because
Right.
they are seen as leasing equipment in space. That's really all it is. It's like, I'm going to pay this money to be able to have access to something. Problem is that in order to see transformation, the average American needs three things. They need fitness, nutrition, and accountability. All a health club does is give them fitness. And
Yeah.
even then, it's sketchy because most gyms don't even teach them how to do it. The good ones do, but they don't. They try to get them with a personal trainer, but everyone knows that's going to happen anyway. So there's a better way to do it so that when you onboard a client, and we all know, right, that if we have good onboarding, we can increase retention in the first 6 months by over 87%, right?
It is.
And so if we do that correctly, not only is the client going to be more invested because they paid more upfront, they're going to have a better onboarding experience. They're going to see better results, which means they're going to be more bought in, and they're going to associate that reward, aka the physical transformation, with the location, which means retention is going to go up and you're going to collect more cash.
Yeah. So while you're on the word reward, we're involved with this company called Promotion Vault. They do
Mm-hmm.
gift cards, and they do, like, hey, instead of doing zero down, first month free, they'll say, here's a $50 Lululemon card if you sign up, and here's a 25 if you get your friend. There's some breakage that benefits the clubs. What's kind of like your mantra related to, hey, gift cards, reward systems, points, discounting? I'm assuming discounting is a word that you kind of like brushed onto the rug long time ago, thankfully. And thank you for doing that. What are your thoughts on reward systems? And a lot of other companies in other industries are reducing their rewards right now. We're talking about that after, look at it.
Yeah, I think that's a bad move for a lot of people, but I think reward systems have to be done very creatively. So here's the thing. I think in the gym space, and I'm taking this from the micro gym space because that's where I've spent most of my time, but I also see it in the health club space, is that rewards typically happen where we reward someone for a behavior. It's normally too late. And when we reward them, we give them something that we as the gym owner or the club owner think is valuable, instead of trying to truly understand what is most valuable for the client. What do they value? What is something that they would see as a reward? Which is why I like Promotion Vault. Like, I think it's great. We had chats with them, and I like the idea of that. I think that what needs to happen, first of all, is if you're going to reward someone and try to train them on their behavior, the closer the proximity is in the reward, the closer the reward is in proximity of time to the actual behavior that they did that got them reward, the closer that we can make that happen, the more likely they are to repeat that successful behavior. Right. So we want to cut down that time. So as soon as someone shows up for their first class, we should be rewarding them right away. Now, it could be something as status. It could be a gift card. It could be a shirt. It could be something. But the goal is to consistently be rewarding people and all you're literally doing is, it's just like, I hate to say this, but it's like when you're training a kid. I got two kids. I want to train them on positive rewards, right? And I want to make sure that they understand when they do something well, without me even having to say it, I can reward them so that they associate that behavior with the reward. And it has to be close. It can't be an extended period of time. So I like gift cards, but my thing is that it just has to be valuable to the client. So like, if the client doesn't care about supplements, doesn't care about your gym as much, but they really care about the local baseball team, get them tickets, right? Get them 2 tickets to the game.
I said that the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like for me. So here's a perfect example. At our gym, we had at our peak, we had over 250 clients. We were a micro gym, and we had sub 3% monthly churn for over a year,
Mhm.
and which is difficult. So industry average in the micro gym is roughly 12 to 15%, depending on the region and where you're at. So the reason we were able to do that is because we found things that we liked about our clients. We did intake forms. We found out what they liked, truly liked. And then what we did was we rewarded them with things that truly mattered. One of the things was one person was like, I love Disney. Disney's my favorite place to go, all that stuff. Literally just got this person a keychain one day, randomly, a Disney keychain, used it. They said it was the most thoughtful gift they'd ever received, right? It
Yeah.
cost us $5, but this person was just astounded. They were like, I can't believe you, I mentioned that in passing that I love Disney. We're like, we know, we understand,
Yeah.
we care about you. When I
Yeah.
saw this, I thought of you, right?
That's amazing. I was telling people, there was this conference I went to, was all these tech people in the London hotel, LA Tech Fit Summit or whatever. And they're like, what's the future of fitness? I said, you can't have artificial intelligence until you have intelligence. So let's focus
100%.
on getting all this information like in Disney and like what their kids do and what their goals are. I think that's amazing. It also triggered me on like, hey, what are the rewards? Maybe I shouldn't give you a gift card option. Maybe I should just know that you like this brand, and that's the only I'm going to show you because now it looks like I remember.
Exactly. But there's a deeper option or there's a deeper problem right here. And Pete, like, if you don't mind, if I go on a tangent real quick, the problem is the problem with most gyms when they think about rewards is they just think about the cost. And here's the deal: if you're not able to either ascend clients in the value ladder, in the pricing ladder, to offer higher levels of service with better margins, you're not going to have the margins to be able to give back to your clients. And so it's this vicious cycle. If you are a churn and burn or a lower tiered pricing option, you have to have other ways to monetize. And what we like to call it is basically dipping into spending wallets of a client. And that could be supplements in your pro shop or whatever. But you need to be able to maximize your profit per client. Otherwise, you won't have the money to do these rewards, which then just is this vicious cycle of a gym, right? Where you just keep
Yeah.
signing people up and you're like, why are people leaving? And it's like, I want to do these things, but I don't have the money not only to cover that, but I also am struggling to make my own money and struggling to pay my staff, all these things. So gym owners need to understand that they need to solve for profit first, which gives them the opportunity and the ability to give back to their clients and build something sustainable.
God, that's great advice. I want to ask you a question because something came up. I was at a Gold's Gym franchise seminar, and we were talking about, hey, what if instead of playing zone defense, we play man to man defense, right? And we say, and I asked one of the guys, I'm like, how many members do you have in your club? He's like 3,500. Like, how many employees do you have? It takes a minute, adds up to part time, full time, 35. I'm like, what if you give 100 names to each one of your employees? Make sure they know everything, like Cale, you just talked about everything, and then they're responsible if they actually cancel. Like that's on your top 100 list, right? Everyone's got a top 100 list. Have you seen that done before? Is that like a crazy idea? Why is that happening? What would you do? Like you probably know everybody's name at a 250, I'm sure, and every
Yeah.
family.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I'll answer why people don't do it. It's because it's hard work.
Yeah.
And because you can't, it's scaling the unscalable because it requires actual hard work and actual just throughput. That's the
Yep.
first reason. What I would do is very similar to that. So we actually instruct our gym owners to do this, and I believe that this should happen regardless of the size of the gym. Is you take your members, you break them up into however many groups you need to, based on how many people you can do the reach outs to, and you should reach out to them. We tell our clients, and this is what we found through best retention practices, is be reaching out to your clients at least once a week, preferably twice a week, and just checking in on them and just hitting them up. Once a month, you should be sending a handwritten card to your clients. If you are a bigger scale, you could do it once a quarter, right? But that should be a handwritten note that is from a team member that's just letting them know you're thinking about them. Maybe if you've noticed that they've hit records on check-ins and coming into the gym, just shout that out. If you notice that they've said something about, you've noticed that they look better, right? Come in. If you're keeping track of any weights or any metrics, you can let them know, like, great job on this. But these little touch points are so key. And like, so from the micro gym side, what we do is most of the time it's easy enough for gym owners to just do 4 different lists, and then they just rotate between the people, and every month they hit up a different group. That's it. And it's their job. But you're right on the same path. Is like, you should know their first name when they walk in. You should know their first name of everyone. Like that should be the job of everyone at the front desk, everyone in the staff. If I walk into a gym, they should know my first name. Like I go to a gym locally here, which you actually working on some stuff in the background with that, which is really cool.
Yes.
Nobody, like there's 2 people that know my name and they're never there when I go. So like no one knows me. I could go in and out and no one have any idea. I was gone for a month, never got a reach out.
That's
no
right.
one reached out.
It's funny, like there's like these AI groups that are out there right now saying, I'll tell you the people that are going to cancel, pay me 15 grand. I'm like, are you kidding, dude? Like pay me $5, right?
It's so easy.
Get on. I'll just show you. I mean, pick up the phone, make it hard to break up with me,
Well, here's the easiest way, right? We're all using technology. Club owners are all using technology to track people walking into the gym. Just cross-reference it with your total client list and then reach out to all the people that haven't come in. And then here's a crazy idea. Do it every week.
Yeah.
Do it every week if they haven't checked in.
And there's your data scientist right there. Call that guy a data scientist.
There you go.
From a standpoint of your business and being an entrepreneur, and to kind of flip the switch here a bit, you could be running really big ad budgets now that are potentially we're going in separate directions. You also got this model that started out with licensing. So, without giving us, like how the pricing works, but just give us an idea of, how much of the marketing budget can you and do you want to take over? What other tentacles can you put in here? And how much can I kind of operate as like, I own a hotel, and you're like basically like staffing in, managing it for me, if that's not too far afield.
No, it's, I think staffing and management of it that's pretty tough in today's world unless we owned it. If we did that, we would go into actual corporate locations, which we've thrown around, and we would just start our own. But we wouldn't franchise it. We would literally just do corporate because we know how to do all of the things that are needed front to back, and we'd make more money that way. But with the model that we have currently, I want to handle basically all acquisition up until the point I would like to do sales as well. That's the ultimate goal, is where I get the leads for every gym owner. I work the leads for every gym owner. I sell every gym owner, every lead via phone or Zoom or whatever. And then they just come in, they've already paid, and they just start their process. And then we teach the club owners or gym owners how to fulfill the right way to increase retention and LTV of their clients.
Got it. Perfect. And from a standpoint of that budget, it sounds like that budget could just continues to be like, hey, this is how much until the spend and the return kind of diminishes just based on, laws of the, supply and demand.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. And what's cool is like, there's always going to be people that need fitness no matter what. I mean, we just look at the data, and when we look at the data, just the average human being here in the US and where everything's going, until people stop caring about looking good naked, then like we're going to never run out of people to go to a gym and want to be fitter. Like it's never going to happen. No matter what semaglutide and all the peptides and Ozempic and everything that comes out, because they still need to lift. They still need to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And when, as a percentage, I mean, it really doesn't matter. Our goal internally, just to say, is like, we want at minimum, so at worst, we want our clients to be 3-to-1, including our cost.
Gotcha.
And that's great. Yeah.
Awesome. So just in closing here, since we try and keep this brief for everyone, this has been an awesome education. Great talking to you. And I want to talk to you right after this about something with our Halo Academy that could be interesting for us to combo up on. Give us a quote. You got a lot of quotes. I watch all your videos, usually 2 or 3 times. Sometimes I'll forward them on and be like, yo, this is how you got to think about this. We got one lightning round I could do. But why don't you answer first? Like, what's the what's one of your best quotes that you kind of either end with on clients, or like the advice that they need at the end, like a coach kind of kicking you in the back or patting you on the back?
Yeah, this is the one I think that hits the most home for me. And I've said this multiple times. There's probably clips of me saying it to clients and stuff, but really it's just essentially this, that it doesn't matter what you think you need to do. It matters what it takes. And what it takes is always way more than you ever thought it would. And what it takes is an unreasonable amount of focus, attention, and hard work in order to be successful. And that is typically 10 to 20 times more than the average person thinks. And so you have to be willing, as an entrepreneur, as a gym owner, as a business owner, period, to do what it takes, not what you think it takes.
Love it. Awesome. All right. We're not going to do a lightning round. We're going to end on that because that's too good.
Awesome.